welcome back to the Ben and Rich YouTube channel. We are on a fun little adventure today. We got a call from our, we're gonna say our second cousin. You know, we got a call from him heading down to Flint, Michigan right now. He had stumbled upon a barn find, something we had a little interest in. We've been looking for a little project for the channel, bring you guys along for that. Hopefully it's what we're looking for. Supposedly this thing is super clean. I stopped off on the side of the road. Let's see what we got. What is that junk? Are you kidding me? Haha, look at this thing. It's a two-door. When is the last time you've seen a 1983 Crown Vic two-door that was just dug out of a barn? Now, granted, she's got some patina. She does have some patina. They kind of butchered up the tail or the trunk lock and shit. We don't have any keys. We did have air shocks. We have a hose following us. I need some tires. But man, look at the rockers. I know it's tough to kind of see. New premium 2-inch minty fresh exhaust. Look at the floorboards. So it was pretty well taken care of at the time. I don't know, pretty excited. What do you guys think? We'll get inside the car once we get back home. Give this bad boy a bath. Look at the filth. Pluck this bad boy out. This thing is nasty.
It is bad.
Go ahead and pump that up. Yeah, so she definitely leaked some oil, guys, that's for sure. And, well, just everything else.
Yeah, oil everywhere.
I mean, it did preserve it a little bit. Now, there we go. It shouldn't take much. All right. I don't see anything on that side. Do you?
Nope. Looks good.
Nope, send her up. I think this thing's just gonna turn into a super budget. We're gonna do probably the cheapest possible thing to get this thing back on the road because it's not what we expected. But you guys are tagging along for it. We want to put on a show for you. I think it's a good time. I think let's smoke the tires, man. I don't know. We're gonna see.
You get one tire.
One tire fire, baby. That's all we need.
So we also wanted to do something kind of unique.
So, wrong or right, this is what we chose. So we're just gonna do a basic old, boring old LS swap, right? Yeah, I know, another one. I mean, it's been done, it's been beat to death a million freaking times. But it works, it's proven, and it makes power. So, for a transmission though, that's what you're wondering. You're like, well, you're gonna go 4L80E, 4L60E, 400. No, we thought, you know what, what's gonna make it a little different? Now, it's probably a really stupid idea because we kind of chose a poor transmission, but we went out to our buddy Wayne's and we found this. Let me show you the mounts, because believe it or not, they make Ford to Chevy mounts. And then we got some special motor mounts that'll ease that along too. Let me show you that stuff real quick, guys. Well, what is that? That's a old minty fresh Speedway Motors radiator. Circle Track buddy of ours had that up on the old Facebook marketplace, so we scored that. What's nice about this radiator, guys, if you've seen it, you know what's up. So, being it's a dual pass, you can see the seam, it puts the inlet and the outlet on the same side. For you LS guys, you understand what that means, because the Gen 3 stuff, like we're probably going to run, in this situation, they put, basically both outputs are on the right-hand side. So it just happens to work out. As for motor mounts, so these dudes, look at these high-end units. Already prefabbed, pre-bushed, and these things are cheap. These were $100. Like the time this guy put into it for $100, it's crazy. I mean, they're nice units there. Look at that. We got them from, let's see here. Me and this guy share a name here. I don't know the guy, but hey, whatever. Brian's Machine Shop. Hell yeah, thanks, man. That's where we got those. If you're putting your small block Chevy or whatever you want to call it, anyways, in this situation, in an LTD. Also, we got the old Amazon slider mounts. If you guys are unfamiliar with these, you'll see how they work. What's nice about those, they give you plenty of adjustability. And honestly, they're my favorite to use. If you've ever installed an LS into a vehicle with a factory transmission, something like a 400 or something, you just set the motor in, slide her back, bolt her up, tighten the motor mounts. Now we got her. That's what we were looking for. Hell yeah. All right, so you see the contour of this, and you can kind of see there's a step in the frame. So look at that unit. That thing fits right there.
That'd be good right there.
Yep, back a little ways. Just kick this over. Here, you want to run this?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and go down. All right, guys, we got her set in. We did flip the mounts backwards, but by all means, I think that they normally go the other way. At least, I mean, I used them on a square body before and a G body. So in this situation, they seem to work like that. But boy, oh boy, this engine is sitting up really high, really freaking high. So I don't know. I mean, these motor mounts, they claim small block Chevy, and these are slider mounts to replace small block Chevy. So, but I mean, it did give us some steering shaft clearance. So, I mean, it is sitting good. I'm really concerned about if it went down like 2 inches, it could go back further. And hopefully, I mean, the transmission's pretty small too. I just don't know where it's going to place the shifter at. You know what I mean? I mean, we're getting somewhere. I'm going to try the accessory bracket on. Again, this is all trial and error. This is all garbage stuff. We got something special going in here. And it's not this. This is for test fitting purposes. But so far, Brian's Machine Shop motor mounts, super duper knockoff Dirty Dingoes, backwards I think, by the way. Our Amazon headers work. The engine's sitting pretty high like we talked about, but we got a ton of room. We are missing a dowel pin, so we're just gonna go ahead and just try fitting anyway, stick a bell housing bolt in, and see kind of where the shifter lands, and make sure the transmission's gonna fit decent, because right now, by all means, that transmission's micro. I mean, look at that thing, guys. So we're gonna go and set that on here and see if we can get it fitted up there and see what you guys think. I'm pretty... So we're not putting the flywheel or anything on yet. We do have it all. It's more of just extra weight right now. So give me a hot second. Let's see if we can get this set in there. All right, so we got her fitted in there. So we're gonna have to move this thing back. I was hoping not. I slid it forward so it would fit better, you know what I mean, with the intake and stuff. But we're running into is, if you can see our shifter, we're gonna kind of verify. Maybe we can But I mean, I'm gonna measure from this hole where the cable is. I mean, I think we're under the dash. So that is not gonna fly, because on this thing, it ain't like a T56 where you got a couple mounting spots. I mean, if we had one of those, it'd be nice, because it'd put it right in the right spot, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is sitting kind of high anyways, but regardless, if we take the intake off, like I said, we had it set on there just for fitment purposes. I think we can slide the whole unit back and then see if we can get that shifter to fit. But it is hanging there, believe it or not, just by them motor mounts. But them are urethane, and them things are pretty freaking stout, other than our, you know, crappy tack welds. So let's lower it down, and then we're gonna kind of assess the inside and see where the shifter lands. All right, guys, I just got back from the old junkyard there. We were having some troubles with the intake clearing, so we did a couple things off camera. We lowered the motor down a couple inches. I'll show you how we did that, and we got it to go back. So it's kind of a pain in the butt trying to film that and do it at the same time. So we did get that buttoned up, and then we ran off to the junkyard. I'll drop that clip in here. All right, guys, we're out to a local yard. We had to score ourselves an intake for our car. The old truck intake wasn't going to work, so gonna rob the old worst intake you can ever get for an LS4 intake off this Impala SS we found. All right, guys, if you get into one of these things, there's one bolt that's just a pain in the ass. Right back there. That dude right there is tucked under this bracket. Bring an 8mm wrench. Oh, me and this dude had a long journey, but it's out. It's coming out, so sweet. Thanks, guys, for this one. This is going to be hopefully going to get us going anyways. Get our car going here shortly for you, and it's be a good time. And then when we got back, here we are, set that on. So we did pick up, yes, the world's worst intake for an LS. It is an LS4 intake off the front wheel drive Impalas and Grand Prix and all that good stuff, but it fits. We did go ahead and actually, we did have to try another set of headers, because remember, we had the motor set up really high. So in the process, we went and dropped the motor down. So we ended up getting a set of V8 S10 swap headers, and we had to use the driver's side. So look at what we did. We ended up flipping the mounts again, and we flipped them side to side, which brought this down, and then we re-drilled new holes for that. So by doing so, we have next to no freaking room on this wiper cowl, guys. So sadly, it's a low performing intake, but it fits perfect. Oh, hey guys. Yeah, it's not what it looks like. We had a swap pan, a 302 dash whatever, anywho. Not gonna work. It runs right into direct interference with our external slave cylinder. So we did choose a different pan route. We had on our test engine, we had a Gen 3 pan, and it wouldn't work because it has a like an oil level thing there. So we found a Gen 4 pan. We had been laying around, and we did some modifications. Now, granted, we're gonna flap disc this, guys. This is gonna be minty fresh, I promise you. But for test fitting purposes, we did have to grind, and this is kind of like this batwing gusset thing. It's really for strength of cast, but it's not necessary. And then this whole chunk here, yes, we hacked it with a grinder, but yes, we're gonna flap disc it. But that's what we needed to take out, and it fits. All right, guys, so something if you don't know, so we got a 90, well, it says 91 1500 on there from the old junkyard. So the trick is you got to grind off or pull the dowel pins out, since we're using an LS1 flywheel and we're using an old ass truck clutch kit. So, and you have to step up the bolt holes to a 10-1-5 to go into the LS1 flywheel. We just got an ARP bolt kit for those. Pretty easy, bolts line up. And then as for that, the pilot bearing there, we used the large style, and that worked out really well. We just drove it in a little further. All that stuff's lining up. Now, we have heard rumors with the old NV3500, we got to extend the clutch rod, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But let's get this thing set in there. We're gonna get her tossed in right now. Things a little easier. What do you think, John?
Oh yeah, big time.
The struggle was real.
I think we, now we can actually start putting stuff on. Start putting the slave cylinder on and all that fun stuff. All right, she goes right in, folks. Obviously, we got this thing with the pinched off line and a whole bunch of fluid, so she's kind of like, you know, hydraulically locked. But we did get it to finesse out, and it worked. So, all right, well, we're about to hook up the battery for the first time. So this car, obviously, you've seen what we got. There wasn't much there. And there's a lot of janky stuff. This was a TBI car, throttle body injection. And they lobbed a bunch of shit off there that's unnecessary. And it's not going to be necessary for us. We just need the headlights to work. And we're going to check the fuel pump and stuff. So Jeremy's in the car. He stopped by visiting for a few minutes. I'm going to hook this battery. We're going to see what lights up here. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, battery's on. I don't see smoke yet. We got all our solenoids bunched up. Now, obviously, we don't have a starter hooked up or anything. It was more just to see what's going on. What do we got in there, Jeremy? Anything going on?
Dome lights.
Dome lights. Well, that's half the action, you know.
No headlights.
No headlights. So, I don't know what's missing. The column's all busted up. We're going to go out to Wayne's here in a little bit, out to the yard, and grab a trans cross member and a column out of a Lincoln he's got. What do you got going on? Whoa, 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 we got wipers.
How you turn them off?
I don't know, we got wipers.
Turn it out.
Well, that works. That's one bonus.
We got a clock.
Well, first glimpse under this thing. Got it up on the racks. So what we're looking for, we're hoping the drive shaft didn't get the knife, and it looks good. We're gonna have to get a turbo 350 style yoke for that, and then we need this trans cross member, which is not in too terrible a shape for what it is. Guys, we saved you a lot of curse words there, because that's a son of a bitch. But we got it out. We are gonna put a clutch pedal in the old Crown Victoria. I'm not the most excited about this. Everything else has been gravy train, right? We're just putting a motor in a car. Well, now we get to go into uncharted waters. Now, I know a lot of you have maybe seen Crown Vics with stick shifts, and they use a T5 out of a Mustang and a Mustang cable pedal clutch thingy and all that good stuff. That's not us. We're gonna put a hydraulic clutch in out of something. We have yet to figure out what's going in. I know that we gotta get the steering column pulled out of here. We gotta pull out the factory pedal assembly. Maybe we'll go for an F-150 or a Ford Ranger or something of that nature. Undiscovered yet. So we're gonna head out to Wolverton's here in a little while. We're gonna see what he's got and see if we can dig up a pedal assembly. I know we're on the hunt for a smaller brake booster. Rumor has it we can use the Bubble Vics, like a 92 to 02 before they went to like a Watts-Link rear suspension, and we use a non-ABS one. We can get a smaller booster and all that good stuff. And maybe we'll set up a deal on a rear end if he's got one too. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. Let's go now. Guys, we finally made it to the junkyard, if you can see. We've been scouring trucks. We had this idea. We're like, you know what? A Ford F-150 or something like that would be perfect for this clutch pedal assembly. No. So they're aluminum, lesson learned. We've been looking at other options, trying to find something that's gonna be easily adaptable. So I think we found it. And it's gonna be unique. You're gonna laugh, because it's like, you know what? Why the hell would you look here? But hey, it's an option. So we found ourselves a Colorado, like an 05 Colorado. So let me show you this pedal assembly. This might be for anybody that's doing a stick shift swap. This is about the coolest pedal assembly I've seen so far, and it's completely separate from everything else. Let me see if I can get you a good shot here. You look under there, there's literally 4 bolts and then a square hole for the slave cylinder. How freaking cool is that? And the reservoir is attached. I've been really pondering disc brake in the rear of this car, just because that's the way to go. But so all the research we did is, if we find a 92 to 02 Crown Vic LTD, whatnot like that, they have a smaller brake booster. If we find a non-ABS car, so we can use the brake booster, the master cylinder, and all that stuff. And it's already disc brake. So that means we get the proportioning valve and all that to run disc brakes. So holy crap. Look at this ginormous POS, man. She was welded in there. Look at all that room for activities now. I almost thought we should go Hydro Boost, you know?
Don't need that anymore. We might as well do the easiest part first, you know. Pull off our bolt down here. That was one of the things we struggled with the yard, is we decided to sawzall it because the booster is in the way. But now that it's wide open, we'll do it the right way. All right, so they already busted the column, all the hell, guys. I showed you that in a past video. So we got that minty fresh Lincoln one that's blue. That ain't gonna match nothing, but it'll be okay. So most of the stuff is already unplugged. We just get the benefit of unplugging the last couple things, and then I think we got a few bolts, and hopefully be coming out of here in a few seconds, because there's no shifter hooked up, so we ain't dealing with that. All right, pedal assembly, check. It might work, I don't know. So what we got going on, I pulled all this stuff through the firewall. So this is, I mean, honestly, not bad on Ford's part. That's our whole dash harness. The headlight harness pops through the firewall. We got that brake booster removed like you saw. So, look at all the room we got for a clutch pedal, guys. I mean, so right here, obviously, we gotta leave our brake booster alone, but this thing is just way smaller. I'll grab the other one and do a comparison before we bolt it in. So the old computer popped through here, which we don't have anymore, and then our harnesses. We had a headlight harness, the main harness for the wiper motor, like the body harness, and then, I don't know, some other harness. So, yeah. Now we get to put a pedal in. So I did go ahead and kind of just set it up in there, give you kind of an idea. I just ran a couple self-tappers just to kind of get it in the area, but there is a pedal box in the car. There might be some residual sparks, but we got our fire extinguisher handy, so let's give her a shot. All right, guys, so this unit here, we got a 24-inch piece on there. We're gonna add another 36-incher. We're gonna take this off. I just think it's gonna help. I mean, worst case, it's too long and we just change the line. But we're gonna start off with a longer one. And then I wanted to show you how this thing just snaps in. I mean, it is super slick. As we get our new line, we're gonna tighten them up here in just a hot second. But down here, we got it ready. Hopefully, it's supposed to just pop right in there. And that's it. Well, that wasn't slick as snot. So, all right, yeah, you'll see what's gonna happen now. Now we got our heat sleeve on this one. We're gonna run it up along the back of the bell housing, pop it out down by the transmission. All right, you can see what we did here. Ran our line, got our adapter. Get these wires out of our way. And again, guys, it's tacky, I know. But I'm just concerned with the AN line running up here and us having clearance issues, because this is really close. I mean, you see we already ground the hell out of the oil pan. Just so we can run an MV3500, right? Again, yeah. So, yeah, it's already working. Yeah. Wow. Guys, wait till you see this. So I got a friend of mine that makes drive shafts anyways, and he took good care of us. Check this out. He just wants us to be safe, folks. You can see, let's get this thing knocked over. These factory lines come up and over, and one goes to the passenger, one goes to the driver. And those are nylon. Them are going to be just fine. So we're going to go ahead and reuse those. It'll just simplify the process. And then we're not trying to fight another line across the top of this tank. So it'll get us going. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start kind of probably doing the underneath of the floor up here, because we are kind of waiting for that tank, and then get those lines ran. So I think we're going to start on probably the lines and then get back to the front. So let's get some lines bent up. All right, that puts it in a little better perspective for you. So we're gonna try to just do a 180 bend here so that factory line will push on. And then we're gonna just kind of recreate this and fish it over to that hard filter. And then we'll deal with that over there. And then on the other side, the driver's side's kind of there. Passenger side's the same way, guys. You can kind of see where the vent and that runs forward. Hopefully we can take that pump and make them into one. But we did just hose clamp it on there, and really it's just a support. So, but you see what we got going on. We got some new fuel injection hose, high pressure, ethanol rated stuff. So we don't want that rotting away. And then the return, we kind of just chopped that tube off, and it's clamped on there. It was a win. So now it's time to see if we can get this thing to start. So we did go ahead and lay out some of the wiring. Everything is plugged in. I did throw on some radiator hoses. You kind of seen them laid out. There is some BS going on with the heater hoses, and I'll show you that and explain that a little more in a second here. But by golly, guys, I think we just got to set the computer in, and man. All right, so a little closer inspection of the wiring. I just want to show you guys. And you're seeing this contraption. It looks like absolute hell. But if you're familiar with Fords and you're familiar with LS cooling systems, so you should loop the heater hoses, or you should have some sort of basically loop these dudes or run them through a heater core. Fords, though, they shut off coolant flow to the heater core, so it's not cranking the heat the whole time. So what you got to do is you got to have a bypass so it loops, and also it can flow through the heater core as well. So we did just throw our shutoff back in, and then we threw just a couple plastic tees to get us by, and it'll work. Now there is fancy billet aluminum. We'll probably upgrade down the road. Is it necessary now? No. But we did top off the coolant, and one thing you should know real quick, and I didn't show you, and I apologize ahead of time, is that when you're running a normal radiator with an LS, you got to fill it from the engine block first. So normally, if you're running the coolant reservoir that's over here, it fills through the lower hose, fills the block, fills the radiator, everyone wins, right? In this situation, goes through the radiator, goes through the lower hose, and then what? It ain't getting past the thermostat. So you always want to pull this upper hose loose and fill your block first, right? So then it can actually sense coolant, and that gets warm, and then your thermostat opens, and then everyone wins. So we got our super Amazonian harness. The fuel pump wires ran, so really we just got to get this wire a little juice, and we should be able to purge our fuel pump. So that's what we're gonna go for. We gotta get some fuel in it. Oh my God, I think that's next. Let's go ahead and purge out the fuel rails. Make sure there's no leaks. Oh yeah, she's laboring now, guys. I'm gonna set the ignition. Got my ignition wire twisted together. All right, you ready? Let's give it a shot. Yeah! Hell yeah, guys, hell yeah. We gotta go ahead and see if we can keep her going a little bit of the oil pressure. That's awesome. That is a win. That is a freaking win. Man, I wish we had a throttle cable. That is awesome, guys. Heck yeah. All right, let's give it a shot again, just to see. We want some oil pressure, and maybe, I mean, by all means, it could idle, maybe. I don't know. Let's just give it a shot. You ready? Clear?
Yep.
stage 2. Not bad for no 2 centers and a half-ass tune. Idling at 40, guys. That is a win, boys. That is a win. Still charging good. Man, we got coolant in her already. She's making some heat. That's what we want. Brand new motor. So, in theory, we should be able to push our clutch down, turn the key on. We're in neutral. Look at that, hell yeah. Well, we made it back from the yard, guys. So we got our cable. I was trying to sort out a couple things. So these here have a round hole where they pop through the firewall on your Chevy trucks. And obviously we know the other side's gonna work because it came off a GM vehicle. But I was looking at our Ford here, and let me see if I can get a light in there so you can see what I'm dealing with. So the factory cable, you can kind of see where that hole is, bolted there with 2 bolt holes, and then it has a circular hole. The only problem is obviously it's not the right size. And we can't get a drill from this side to step it up, because we're just gonna run a step drill in there, I'm thinking. Probably the best bet. So I think what we're gonna do is have to crawl underneath the dash again and get it from the inside, hopefully, and get with a step bit, bump it up to the next size. It looks like we gotta go from, I don't know, maybe 1/2 inch up to 9/16. I mean, it ain't very far, maybe 5/8 tops. And that should just snap right in. And looking at the back of the pedal, it looks like it takes the same type of unit. So basically, let me get it back here. So this dude snaps in the back of the pedal. Hopefully that works out. And then since we have to make a bracket, because LS4s never came with a throttle cable, we grabbed one of these while we were out there too. This is just a factory Gen 3 LS throttle bracket. I was looking at a couple different ways of fixing it up. I don't know. We'll come up with something that creative here shortly. We just got to primarily work on the cable first, and this will be the only way we can adjust where we need it and how much tension too. So that's what's critical about doing this last. So let's get the drilling, get this cable in, and see if we can get this thing revving up on our own. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got that bumped up. We were able to drill it from the inside. So let's see if it fits now. I mean, really it should. It can't not, but you never know. I'll tell you, with this wiper cowl, they don't give you a ton of room. Look at that. Just like it's supposed to. Well, well, well. A little bit of fabrication. We took a little piece of steel, bent it up, drilled a hole where the little tower was before, trimmed up a little bit. By golly, I think we got a throttle cable. All right, guys, moment of truth. Let's see what happens. See how she lays on. Oh yeah, guys, that's gonna be brand new. So, all right, got Gavin helping out. We're gonna go ahead and pick this thing up, get her in there. We are gonna anti-seize our bolts and wire brush, I promise. Get this. All right, guys, look at that. Fits right in like it's supposed to. All right, guys, I might have found a solution. So this thing, no matter what we do, is gonna land right in that hole. That's where it's supposed to be. You know, it's just meant to be.
So I found these are like them trailer hitch washers. So I'm thinking, it's already the right hole drilled and everything. I know it's kind of tacky, but you know, it's my car, so it's fine. If I put this guy right there and it fits in there damn near perfect, and I just weld that in on both sides, I think that's gonna be what we need. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's get to grinding. All right, guys, we got her fitted in there. So it is kind of just clamped by the vice grips there, but I'm gonna take and kind of center it to our best of the ability, and we'll just fill the rest of that in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll probably flap disc that down a little bit, but she is in and solid and still smoking. But yeah, it's gonna work out good, guys. And then also, we did put a piece of steel up there. We got the fuel lines right there. We're not that stupid, I guess, you know. But the other side, still got looks like just a brake line there, but same thing. We're gonna weld that little plate in there, get that done, and we'll bring you right back. And guys, that thing went in there pretty nice. I just kind of flap disced it where it was necessary and painted it black. And I mean, hell, do you think it came in this car? All right, now that our hole's drilled and tapped, I said we're just gonna go ahead and get ourselves an 8mm bolt, catch our new threads, go ahead and pump it up. Hold. Go ahead.
What you doing, Dad?
Putting new brakes on this thing. Well, guys, she is wrapped up. I want to give you kind of a quick rundown. We're gonna touch up a little paint work anyways, but we did use the factory hoses. This one did have a in and out, so we just plugged it. Got some new steel lines. Got it running across. Got this hose, we flopped it over, bolted it right there like we talked about earlier. Turning out pretty decent, guys. She went in like factory. So we got new shocks, and we did change the pinion yoke like we talked about. So, we did throw a new hose on it, okay? All right, we did. I felt it was right at that point. That one was pretty bad once I got looking at it, guys. So we did change it. So everything's new now. So we're good. And then our sway bars are all hooked up. Gosh, I wish them damn shocks were red. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that look so much better? Slick road, so we ain't going very far with our open 273, but hell yeah. All right, guys, we're inside. The Camaro's inside thawing off. It's the first time it's been in the garage in a long time. But it is exhaust time for the LTD. So in like-minded fashion, it's on a budget, right? So we got some straight tubing we bought from the local auto parts store. We got some old used 10 series from our buddy Rusty off one of his mud trucks. We got some, look at that nice mandrel stainless bends there. We got some other scrap over here from my exhaust system. So the plan is we're just doing dumps on it, guys. I know dumps, I mean, it is what it is. That's what you get. You get dumps. I don't want tailpipes on this car. It's a unique enough car. If it ain't loud, people aren't gonna know, and they need to know. So
This noise here, let me show you what we got. You know, the old open headers, just, she does all the justice. I mean, how can you go wrong with that, right? But she sounds like my old derby car. So, I mean, for tuning's sake, we need at least 18 inches past the O2 sensor. Well, O2 sensors. So we gotta at least do that. And then we figured we'd put another 3 foot on it and put some dumps with some 10 series, right? Yeah. Let's get her in the air. All right, back under this gem. So, you can see we got, this one's gonna be pretty straightforward. I mean, we got like a 35-degree straight back. And then I gotta kind of tuck in here by the drive shaft, and then right here, dumps. So this side is a little trickier. So remember, these are V8 S10 swap headers, at least the driver's side is. So this unit down here dumps further than expected, so we may have to cut this off way up here. Now keep in mind, everything we're gonna do is probably gonna be just butt welded. We'll slip weld what we have, but it'll be good enough. And someday we'll do a better exhaust. But remember, budget, keep it cheap. All right, you can see they're starting to line up. We got that kind of cut and modified. So the only thing I'm concerned about, like we were talking earlier, is what I have left. These, that fancy S-bend there came in another dual exhaust kit I had from my old Regal. I only had one of those. So, all right, we got it laid out. So I want to show you real quick what we got, and then we got to figure out some of the mufflers. But front to back, it don't look bad. She lines up nice. We got her where it goes up the cross member, and then it tucks in by our tunnel. And yeah, they're obviously still a little bit of a weeble wobble, guys. So once we get a hang around the back, it'll tighten it up, and we'll make sure it ain't banging the floor, you know. I was able to repurpose some of Rusty's exhaust. All right, so we got her laid out. That's what she looks like finished welded. Not too bad. They lay out pretty nice, line up equally. We're gonna get them hung back up so it's finished welded, and then we can figure out the muffler portion there and wrap this exhaust up. Well guys, that's her all finished up. Couldn't leave you hanging there, had to get her buttoned up. Got a couple hangers. Looking good. Got to start getting some other things buttoned up on this thing. Rusty is ready to start tuning, and we're slacking, you know, because we're worried about Camaros and S10s and, you know, field trips and everything else. So something cool I wanted to show you, and keep in mind, you know, I know this whole project of this particular car has been budget oriented, right? Something a lot of you guys may not know or may know, you can always go out and buy air intake tubing, you know, Chinesium, knockoff, super thin, shitty charge pipe tubing, whatever you decide. But here's an idea for you. Go out there to the local junkyard and get yourself a drive shaft. You know, most of these yards, if it's got a mark in it or a little bit of corrosion, you can buy an aluminum drive shaft for 30 bucks and you get 5 foot of aluminum tubing, and it's thick wall. Just to prove it, I made sure I left the wheel weight on for the balancing weight just to show you guys. And then I'll Scotch-Brite this up, and then we got a brushed aluminum intake for nothing? What? Yes. eBay silicone boot for the win. But I mean, look how basic, guys. I know technically it's not cold air, but it's going to be good enough. We're going to figure that part out. It's going to get us an idea. Rusty's probably going to weld on a little tab because he can aluminum weld for us, and maybe hook it to the alternator bolt. But I'm going to get this all mocked up and go with the air filter and show you how simple it is, guys. All right, now we need to measure for length. So, again, it's not the cold air, you know, we pull the washer reservoir out and relocate it, or yeah, we're not going to do all that. It'll be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this so we can cut this guy down a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and polish it. But this is actually a, well, you know, a super eBay $22, but it is a dry filter. Definitely a preference of mine over a oiled, especially running mass airflow. You don't want to risk the oil getting onto the, you know, mass airflow sensor. All right, a little Scotch-Brite action. This thing will be brand new. Well, 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 what do you think of that? Little polish job on it. The old eBay dry red filter, of course, to go with our Ford blue engine. The old silicone hose here. That, my friends, is how you make yourself a cold air intake. Well, an air intake. All right, guys, you ready to hear what these 40 series sound like? I'm pretty freaking stoked. All right, hold on a minute here. Hell yeah. Not bad, guys. Got a healthy tone to her. No, I'm stoked. That thing sounds mint. Exactly what we're going for. You can't go wrong with dumps, you know what I mean? We got a cold air intake, well, a warm air intake on it. So she's flowing some fresh air. New exhaust. Man, oh man. This bad boy's about ready. Guys, I call that a freaking win. Next time you see this gem here, hopefully she'll be on a dyno. She's heading to Rusty's here soon. He's gonna go ahead and get her set right up for us. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. We'll see you on the next one.